2 make 5, and 5 make 10, and 10 make 20. Item on the 24th, a small insinuative injection to soften, moisten, and refresh the bowels of Mr. Argonne. What I like about Mr. Fleuron, my apothecary, is that his bills are always extraordinarily polite. All the same, Mr. Fleuron, it is not enough to be civil. One must also be reasonable and not plunder sick people. $300 for an injection? I have already told you, with due respect to you, that elsewhere you've only charged me $200, and $200 in the language of the medical profession means only $10. Item, on the said day, a good detergent injection compounded of rhubarb, honey of roses, and other ingredients to scour, work, and clear out the bowels of Mr. Argonne. $300? By your leave, dear sir, let's make that $10. Item, in the evening of the said day, a sweet drink, soporiferous and somniferous, intended to promote the sleep of Mr. Argonne. $350. I have no complaint about that, because it did indeed make me sleep very well. So that's $17.50. On the 26th, a carminative injection to cure the flatulence of Mr. Argonne, repeated in the evening. $300? You're joking, Mr. Fleuron. You must learn to be reasonable with patients. $10, Mr. Fleuron. Item, a tonic composed of 12 grains of bezoar, syrup of lemons, and pomegranates, to purify and refresh the blood of Mr. Argonne. $200? Ah, Mr. Fleuron, go easy if you please. If you carry on like that, no one will wish to be unwell. Be satisfied with $10. This month, I've taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 mixtures. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 injections. And last month, there were 12 mixtures and 20 injections. No wonder I am not so well this month as I was last. I shall speak to Dr. Purgon about it, so that he may set the matter straight. Come, let all this be taken away!
Nobody? It's no use. I'm always left alone here. There's no way of keeping them. They don't hear. This damn thing doesn't make enough noise. Toinette! She's ignoring me. I know it. Confound you, hussy! Ring, ring! Yes, it's me! Hello!
Come in, come in.
Don't worry if I'm dying, wretch!
Ow! What for your impatience? Now I've got to knock my head.
You fix it!
Ow!
There is
Ow! Ow!
Will you be silent, baggage, and let me scold you in peace?
Well, after what I've just done to myself,
You've made me bald till my throat is sore.
you've got to make me break my head open, so I guess that we're quits.
What, you little hussy?
If you go on scolding me, I shall cry.
To leave me here, I will not! Please allow me the pleasure of scolding you without that dreadful racket.
Go ahead then, scold me as much as you like.
You prevent me, you hussy, by interrupting me constantly.
Well, if you have the pleasure of telling me off, I'm allowed to have a good cry.
All right, I give up. You're impossible. Well, take all this away. Take it away. Did my injection work well today?
Your injection?
Yes, my injection. Did I pass much bile?
Goodness, how should I know? Let Mr. Flabrant get his nose into that. He and Dr. Purgon are having a fine time playing around with your carcass. They've got a rare cash cow in you. But I'd like to know exactly what disease you've got to warrant what they pour down your throat.
Hold your tongue, simpleton. Who are you to question the venerable doctor's orders? Be gone, and ask my daughter Angelique to come to me. That's something I wanted to tell her.
Here she is, coming Maud must have guessed your thoughts.
She's a confounded nuisance. A proper vixen. And besides, it's a terrible worry having such a large sum of money in the house. But I need it to pay my bills. One of these days, some no good servant is going to stumble across it. Don't trust safes and strong boxes. They're an invitation to thieves. First thing they'd look for. All the same, I'm not sure putting the money in the wall behind the cupboard was the best idea either. $20,000 in cash is a large sum.
Heavens, I've given myself away. I do believe I was talking out loud. Well, what is it then?
Father, you wanted to see me.
How long have you been here?
I've only just come.
You didn't happen to hear
Hear what, Father?
what I just said.
How you feel?
You did! Yes, you
I
did!
swear I heard nothing, Father.
I can see you overheard something. The fact is, I was just saying to myself how difficult it is to get hold of any money at all these days, and how fortunate anyone who has $20,000 is.
Absolutely.
I'm very glad of this chance to explain to you, in case you misunderstood and thought that I was saying that I had $20,000. I only wish I had $20,000. It'd be a good thing for me if I had. Well, do with a sum like that. I would have less cause to complain.
Good heavens, Father, you have no cause to complain. Everyone knows you're well enough off.
Me? Well off? What a ridiculous fantasy! Nothing could be further from the truth.
Father, don't be angry. You're not well, remember?
Angry? Is somebody angry? How could I be angry at my favourite daughter? Come over here, I was wanting to talk to you.
I was looking forward to talking to you too, Father.
Wait a minute!
Toinette,
Well,
look at me a little.
yes, I'm looking.
Don't you know what I want to talk about? Him!
Oh yes, would that be the fellow you've been speaking of for the last 6 days? Oh yes, now I remember. You're not well unless you mention him at every turn.
Well, since you know all this as well as I do, why not spare me the trouble of being the one to start the conversation?
You don't give me time. I can hardly get a word in edgeways.
He said he's going to ask my father if he can marry me, and now Papa wants to speak with me. Tell me truly, Toinette, is there anything wrong with the way I feel about Leon?
Not at all.
Am I wrong to indulge in these girlish fantasies? Should I be indifferent to all his words of love?
Goodness no.
You do agree with me, don't you, that there was something providential, some act of destiny in the unexpected way we met?
Quite.
To come to my aid without even knowing me.
Indeed.
Do you not think, Toinette, that he's very handsome,
In his own way.
and that he has the best manners in the whole world,
Without a doubt.
and that there was never anything more tender than all he says to me?
True enough.
And that Father keeping me here, away from such love, is wrong to thwart a love that heaven has inspired.
You're right.
But dear Toinette, do you think that he loves me as much as he says he does?
Ah, now, that's a thing hardly to be trusted at any time. A true show of love is sadly like the real thing, and I've met with some very good actors in that line.
Oh, Toinette, if he deceives me, I'll never believe in any man again.
Well, by asking you to marry him is a sure way of showing whether what he says is true or not. That's definitely the proof. But wait, here's your father coming back.
Now then, my girl, I have a piece of news for you which perhaps you're not expecting. I have received an offer of marriage for you.
I see you are smiling. That word marriage tickles your fancy, eh? Ah, nature, Mother Nature. So from your response here, daughter, there's no need to ask if you're willing to marry.
It is a daughter's duty to obey her father in everything.
I'm very glad to have such an obedient daughter. The thing is settled then.
It is my duty, Father, blindly to follow all you determine upon for me.
My wife, your stepmother, wanted me to make a nun of you. It's your little sister Louison also. But I carried the day and have given my word.
Really, I'm pleased with you for that. It's the most sensible thing you've done in your life.
I haven't seen the young man yet, but I'm told that I will be satisfied with him. And that you will as well.
Most certainly, Father.
How do you say that? Have you seen him?
Well, since you have consented anyway, I can now open my heart to you. We met by chance 6 days ago and fell in love at first sight.
Fancy, they didn't tell me that. But I'm pleased to hear it. So much the better. They say he is a fine young fellow,
Yes, of course.
of strong build,
Yes, indeed.
likeable and handsome,
Very handsome.
with good manners and fine family.
Best possible.
And he speaks both Latin and Greek.
Does he?
Yes, in 3 days' time he'll become a doctor.
He, father?
Yes, didn't he tell you?
No, indeed. Who told you?
Dr. Purgon.
Does Dr. Purgon know him?
Of course he knows him, it's his nephew.
Cleon is the nephew of Dr. Purgon?
Cleon. Aren't we talking about the man you're being married to?
Yes, he is.
Well, he is the nephew of Dr. Purgon, and the son of his brother-in-law, Mr. Diaphorus.
But this nephew is Thomas Diaphorus, not Cleon. We arranged the match this morning, and tomorrow the future son-in-law will be brought to me by his father.
What's the matter, child? You look so pale all of a sudden.
It is because you have been speaking of one person, and I of another. Excuse me, father. I need to go.
What are you thinking? How could you have dreamt up such a ridiculous scheme as this? With all the wealth you've got, why would you want to marry your daughter off to a doctor?
And what business is it of yours, you impudent jade? Besides, I have very good reason. Being as ill as I am, I need a doctor in the family so I can be assured of ongoing care for my various ailments.
In all honesty, do you really believe that you're ill?
Believe that I'm ill? How dare you!
All right, you are ill. More ill than you think. But why should your daughter, who is not at all ill, be lumped with a doctor?
A good daughter ought to be delighted to marry for the sake of her father's health.
So, shall I, as a friend, give you a piece of advice?
Even though you are no friend of mine, let's hear this advice.
Think no more of this marriage. Your daughter will never consent to it.
My daughter will not consent!
She'll tell you that she has no need of Mr. Diaphorus or his son, nor all the Diaphoruses in the world.
But, you baggage, I have need of them. Besides, the match is much more advantageous than you think. Mr. Diaphorus' son is his only heir, and moreover, Dr. Purgon, who has neither wife nor child, will leave his entire estate to Thomas. And Dr. Purgon is a man worth $80,000 a year.
You must have killed a lot of people to become so rich. And it's all very well to talk about money, but I'm telling you now, Angelique is not allowed to be Mrs. Diaphorus.
But I'll have so! I'll make her do it!
I'm telling you, she won't do it.
Oh yes she will, or I'll put her in a convent!
You wouldn't do that.
Why not? I'll put my daughter in a convent if I want to.
No, I tell you.
And who will stop me?
You yourself.
Myself?
You don't have the heart to do it.
Yes I do.
A little tear or two, her arms thrown around your neck, or my darling little papa said very tenderly weird enough to touch your heart.
I tell you nothing will move me.
I know you well enough, you're far too kind-hearted.
I can be thoroughly hard-hearted when I need to be.
Calm down, sir. Don't forget that you are ill.
I will order her to take the husband I have chosen for her, and that's the end of it.
And I will let her do nothing of the sort.
So it's come to this, has it? Such insolence! A scrub of a servant speaking in such a way to her master.
When a master is so wrong, a sensible servant is duty-bound to set him right.
Ah, impudent girl, I'll kill you! Come back, you!
I have to stop you making a fool of yourself.
Come back here and I'll teach you a lesson!
I will never consent to this marriage.
Worthless hussy! Vixen!
Come back here and I'll teach you a lesson! You have to consent to this marriage! You have to go with my will! You have to make my daughter believe in me! Come back here! Villainous baggage!
There, master. Don't make yourself ill.
I'm done for. It's enough to finish me off altogether.
Come here, dear wife.
What's the matter, my poor dear husband?
Come and rescue me, my dove.
What is it then, my little pumpkin?
Well, they've put me in such a state.
There, dearest. How so, my pet?
Oh, that hussy of yours is more insolent than ever.
Calm down, my love. Don't excite yourself.
She infuriates me so much, thwarting everything I want to do.
Oh. Shh. Never mind, dearest.
And she has the barefaced effrontery to tell me that I'm not ill.
How shocking.
You know, my love, how very ill I really am.
Yes, and it was very wrong of Toinette to upset you so.
She's a vile creature and she'll be the death of me. She's the cause of all my bile, and asked you so many times to send her away.
I know that, my dear, but we are obliged sometimes to put up with servants' bad qualities because of their diligence and above all honest. And you know we must be careful into our hands. Toinette! Toinette!
Madame?
What's going on? Why have you put my husband in such a bad mood?
I, Madame, I don't know what you mean. My only aim is to please my master in everything.
Deceitful creature!
He said that he wanted Angelique to marry Thomas Forest, and I told him that although it was a very advantageous match, he'd do better to put her in a convent.
There's no harm in that. I think she's quite right.
Don't believe her. She's a vile girl who said hundreds of insolent things to me.
I believe you, my dove. Now then, pull yourself together. And as for you, Toinette, if you ever make my husband angry again, I'll send you away. Fetch me his fur cloak and some more pillows to make him more comfortable. Pull the nightcap down over your ears. There's nothing that gives people such a bad cold as letting air in through the ears.
My love, how grateful I am for all the care you give me.
Put this one under you, and lean on this one, and this one behind your back, and this one to rest your head on.
And this one to keep you in the dark.
You're trying to stop me!
Now, what is it now?
I can't bear it anymore!
But why did you fly into such a rage? She was only trying to help.
You don't know the wickedness of that villainous baggage, and now I need more than 8 different mixtures and 12 injections to feel better.
Come, my dear, don't.
My love, you are my only consolation.
Poor little pet.
To repay you for all the love you give me, I'm making my will.
Please don't talk to me about that. The very word will makes me tremble.
But I know I asked you to speak to our lawyer about it.
And he just happens to be here now.
Well, bring him in then. Come in, Mr. Bonfoy. Take a seat, if you please. I know I had asked my wife to speak to you about a will I wish to make.
She has fully explained your intentions, sir, and what you mean to do for her. But I have to tell you, you can leave nothing to your wife by will.
Really? Why is that?
It is against the law in this district, and the will would be void. The only settlement that a man and his wife can make on each other is by mutual gift while they're alive. And even then, there must be no children from either that marriage or any previous marriage.
Seems ridiculous that a man can't leave his money to a wife who loves him and takes such good care of him. I'd like a second opinion.
I don't think that's a good idea. Some lawyers are very particular on this point and see it as a great crime to bestow one's property contrary to the law. They are people who just see difficulty in every situation. However, there are others close at hand who are more accommodating, who have ways of getting around the law, especially ridiculous laws. How would we survive otherwise? There has to be flexibility or everyone would end up unhappy.
My wife tells me that you are a very clever and honest man, so what can I do to ensure that she gets all my fortune and my children get nothing?
What you can do, you can choose a friend of your wife and make a will out to them, and that friend will in turn hand the money over to her after you die. You can also, in your lifetime, give her ready cash and any other money owing to you.
Heavens, don't bother yourself with that. If I lose you, my sweet, I wouldn't want to go on living. Life would be nothing to me.
My darling.
I would follow you to the grave to show all the tenderness I feel for you.
Things have not come to that yet.
My one regret if I die, my darling, is that we have not had a child together.
That really comes to
I must now make my will according to what this gentleman advises. But just to be sure, I'll give you the $20,000 that I have in the will, plus 2 bills due to me.
No, don't bother yourself with that. How much did you say there was in the wall?
$20,000, darling.
Please don't speak to me about money. How much are the 2 bills for?
One, my love, is for $4,000 and the other for $6,000.
All the money in the world, my soul, is nothing compared with you.
So, shall we draw up the will?
Yes, indeed, sir. But it'll be more comfortable in my study. Help me, my love.
Come, my poor dear husband.
As long as he doesn't dispose of my heart. Please help me, Toinette.
Just leave it to me. I've always been on your side. But in this situation, I'll hide my true intentions and pretend to agree with your father and his wife.
And please try to let Cleont know about this frightful marriage arrangement.
I'll have to get Punchinello, an old lover of mine, for that. It'll cost me a few honeyed words, but they're worth spending on you. Just leave it to me.
Thank you, Toinette.
Very well, but no one speaks as easily as that to Angelique. She never goes out, nor does she see anybody. You must take precautions.
Therefore, I'm not here as Cleont, but as a friend of her music master. I'll say that I've come into place.
Shh, withdraw a little. Here comes your father. Let me tell you who you are.
Dr. Pergon told me that I was to walk up and down my bedroom 12 times every morning, but I forgot to ask him whether it should be lengthways or across.
Sir, here is a gentleman who's come.
Not so loud, you hussy! You'll split my head open! Remember, I'm ill.
I wanted to tell you that there is a gentleman who...
Quietly, I said!
Sir, there is a...
What?
I wanted to tell you that...
What is it you said?
Sir, here is a gentleman that wants to speak to you!
Who is he?
I am sent by your daughter's music master, who had to go to the country for a few days, and asked me to continue on with her lessons so that she does not forget what she has already learnt.
The music teacher. Very well. Call Angelique.
No, sir, I think it would be better to send the gentleman to her room.
No, bring her here.
But he can't give her a proper lesson if they're not alone.
Of course he can.
But, sir, it'll be too loud for you, and you should have nothing to disturb you in your delicate state of health.
No, I like music. Oh, here she is. Go and see if my wife is dressed. Daughter, your music teacher has gone away for a few days. He has sent his replacement to give you a lesson. what's the matter?
It's such a strange coincidence.
How so?
I had a dream last night that I was in the greatest trouble imaginable, and a gentleman exactly like this one came to help me.
I'm happy to occupy your thoughts, whether sleeping or waking, and would be delighted to help you with any troubles you may have.
I take back everything I said before. I'm now of your opinion. Mr. Diforus and his son have come to visit. How well pleased with a son-in-law you will be. He is surely the most handsome young fellow in the world, and the most intellectual. He spoke but 2 words to me, but I was impressed. Your daughter will be delighted.
Don't go, sir! My daughter is about to be married, and her future husband, whom she has not yet met, is here at last.
You do me great honour, sir, in having me witness their first meeting.
He's the son of a brilliant doctor.
Indeed!
You and the music teacher invited to the wedding in 4 days' time.
I would be delighted to attend your daughter's wedding.
Here they are.
Dr. Purgon forbid me to uncover my head. You are of the profession and understand the consequences.
We are bound in all our visits to bring relief to invalids and not to injure them.
I see, sir. With greatest pleasure.
Must I come inside?
And I wish... Oh, pardon, please go ahead.
Now, Thomas, come forward and pay your respects.
Do I begin with father?
Yes.
Sir, I come to respect, acknowledge, and revere you as a second father, but a second father to whom I owe more than to the first. The first gave me birth, but you have chosen me. He received me out of necessity, but you have accepted me by choice. What I have from him is physical, a product of the body, but what I hold from you is of the will, voluntary. It is for this reason that I hold precious this future affiliation, which I come today to render my most humble and respectful homage.
3 cheers for the universities that send such clever people into the world.
Does that speak to your satisfaction, father?
Absolutely.
Now, put your greetings to this gentleman.
Shall I kiss?
Yes, yes.
Madame, it is with justice that heaven has given you the name of mother.
That's my daughter, not my wife.
Then where is the mother?
She'll be here soon.
Shall I wait until she arrives?
No, no, pay your respects to the young lady in the meantime.
Madame, as the statue of Memnon gave forth a harmonious sound and was struck by the first rays of the sun, in like manner do I experience a sweet rapture at the apparition of your beauty. As the naturalists remark that the flower-styled heliotrope always turns towards the star of the day, so will my heart forever turn towards the resplendent stars of your adorable eyes as its only pole. Suffer me then to offer a heart which longs for and is ambitious of no greater glory than to be, till death, madame, your most humble, faithful, obedient servant and husband.
Ah, see what it is to study and to learn to say such things.
Oh, come now. What do you say to that?
The gentleman does wonders. If he's as good a doctor as he's an orator, he'll have his patients on their feet in no time.
You see, sir, everybody admires your son. I think you are very fortunate.
Sir, it is not because I'm his father, but I can boast I have reason to be satisfied with him. He doesn't have a very lively imagination, or that sparkling wit which is found in some others, but he has excellent judgment. As a child, he was always peaceful and taciturn, never saying a word or playing childish games. It was difficult to teach him to read. A good omen, I used to tell myself. Trees slow of growth bear the best fruit. When I sent him to university, he found it hard work, but his tutors always praised him for his perseverance. He at last succeeded in obtaining his degree, and there has been no other who has made more noise than he in all the debates and disputations of our school, arguing always loudly and to the contrary. He never changes his opinion, and always pursues an argument past the limits of logic. But what pleases me most of all is that he is blindly attached to the opinions of scientific medicine. and he would never listen to or understand their pretended discoveries concerning such things as natural medicine.
I have prepared a thesis against these mystics and charlatans, which I venture to present to the young lady as the first fruits of my genius.
So it is useless to me, since I do not understand such matters.
There is no need. The pictures will be useful enough. They'll look good in the laboratory. I mean the lounge room.
I invite you to come along one of these days to enjoy the pleasure of seeing a person dissected and hearing a lecture of mine.
What a rare treat that would be. Some young men like to take their ladies to the theatre, but I'm sure an operating theatre would be much more interesting.
Now, daughter, you will sing for our company. Sir,
Sorry?
accompany my daughter for our guests.
Yes, of course. So, yeah, I propose in order to amuse the company to sing with the young lady in operetta, which has lately come out. Your part?
Mine?
And the verse is pretty.
Oh, it is nothing but a kind of irregular verse. One that such passion and necessity make two people utter.
Oh, very well, let's hear it then.
I'm sorry for intruding, but I had to see this strange little man you prefer to me.
Oh, don't be silly, Cleont, you're not to blame. If you'd proposed sooner, we'd avoid this pain.
If only I had all been a man of medicine, seems to be the only thing that matters to him.
Rest assured, my love, if I must marry this swine, I'll bear the weight of your heart forever in mine, and cross the world each night over forests and greens to be with you, Angelique, forever in my dreams.
Show me that manuscript! Where are all the words that you have just sung? This is only the music.
Are you not aware, sir, that there has recently been a way invented where the music and words are written together?
Is there really? Amazing. Even so, we could have done without that ridiculous song.
Thought it would amuse you, sir.
Foolish things do not amuse, sir. Here is my wife. My love, this is Mr. Diaphorus' son.
Madame, it is with justice that heaven has given you the name of Mother.
Sir, I am delighted to come here just in time to meet you.
Since we see in you, Madame, you have interrupted me in the middle of my speech, and now I have lost my place. See in you,
For another time.
My love, I wish you had been here just now.
Oh, Madame, how much you have lost by not being at the second father, the statue of Memnon and the flower-style heliotrope speech.
Now, give this gentleman your hand and your pledge of marriage.
Father, please give us time to become acquainted with each other and see grow in us those feelings so necessary for a perfect union.
As far as I am concerned, those feelings are full grown within me, and I see no reason for me to wait.
I am not so quick as you are, sir, and I must confess that your merit has not yet made enough impression on my heart.
Nonsense. There'll be enough time for impression after you have been married.
Father, marriage should never be imposed by force. If this gentleman is a man of honour, he ought not to accept a person under such circumstances.
I can be a man of honour, madam, and still accept you from the hands of your father.
That is a very strange way to inspire true love.
The orangutans of Eastburn I carry on by force the one they wish to marry, so that the latter might not seem to fly of her own accord into the arms of an ape.
It's useless. He's fresh out of university and can't be reasoned with.
Perhaps Angelique's inclinations lie elsewhere.
If they do, madam, it would be such as reason and honour allow.
If I were for you, my dear. I would not force her to marry.
Daughter's duty has its limits.
Which means, I take it, that you are in favour of marriage, but that you want to choose a husband for yourself.
If my father cannot find me a husband I like, he should not force me to marry one I can never love.
Gentlemen, I beg your pardon for all of this.
We all have our reasons for marrying. For my part, as I want a husband I can love sincerely, it is best to be cautious. There are some who simply marry to escape from their parents, to be free to do as they like. There are others, madame, who see in marriage only self-interest, who marry only to get a settlement, to enrich themselves by the death of those they marry. They pass without scruple from husband to husband, with an eye only to their possessions. Such ones are not so difficult to satisfy, and care little what the husband is like.
You are very eloquent today. I wonder what you mean by
What
that.
can I mean but what I say?
Nothing can equal your impertinence.
It is of no use. You will not get a good answer out of me. I'll be quiet in spite of you, and withdraw from your presence.
You listen to me! You either marry this gentleman or go into a convent! You have 4 days to consider your options! Don't worry, I'll bring her to heel.
I'm sorry to leave you, my dove, but I have some important business in town. I'll be back soon.
Yes, be sure to call upon the lawyer and tell her to be quick about it. You know what?
Goodbye, my angel.
Goodbye, my own sweet one. I can hardly believe how much this woman loves me.
Then now take our leave of you, Miss Ivor.
I beg of you first, sir, to tell me how I am.
Now, Thomas, take his other arm, so I may see whether you can form a right judgment on his pulse. Quid, DC?
Teacher, the pulse of this gentleman is a pulse of a man who is not well.
Good.
That it is juris sculus, not to say juris
Very well.
irregular,
Bene.
and even a little capitant, which speaks of the intemperance of the splenic parenchyma, that is to say, the spleen.
Quite right.
No, it cannot be. Dr. Pergon says it is my liver which is out of order.
Certainly. Of course, the great sympathy which exists between them through the means of the vas breve of the pylorus, and often the meatus claudici. He no doubt prescribes you to eat plenty of roast meat.
No, nothing but boiled meat.
Yes, roast or boiled, it's all the same. He prescribes very wisely. You could not have fallen into better hands.
Well, goodbye then. I hope soon to have the pleasure of seeing you again.
Before I go, I must tell you, my dear, that I am suspicious of that young music teacher. I wouldn't be surprised if they were up to something. While passing Angelique's room, I saw them together, and he ran away as soon as he saw me.
A young man with my daughter?
The little Louison was with them. I'll get her to tell you all about it.
Yes, send Louison here at once, my love.
Louison?
How brazen. No wonder she was so obstinate.
Papa, what is it? My stepmother told me to come to you.
Come here, nearer. Turn around. Hold up your head. Look straight at me. Well?
What?
So?
What, Papa?
Have you nothing to say to me?
I can, if you like, tell you the story of the fox and the crow that I've learned at sea.
That is not what I want of you.
What is it then?
You cunning little thing, you know very well what I mean.
No, truly, Papa, I don't.
Take care, for my little finger knows everything.
Oh, Papa, I've done nothing.
Have I not asked you to tell me at once all you see?
Yes, Papa.
And have you done so?
Yes, Papa. I always come and tell you all that I see.
You've seen nothing today.
No, Papa.
Quite sure. My little finger says there's something you're not telling me.
Well, Papa, your little finger's a fibber because I've seen nothing.
Indeed. I'll make you see something soon.
Oh, Papa, no!
False little girl, you did not tell me you saw a man in your sister's room.
Papa!
This will teach you to tell lies.
Actually, told me not to tell you, Papa!
You must learn to tell your brother everything.
Papa, you hurt me, I'm dead.
Louison! My dear little Louison! She's dead! What have I done? Villainous duster! A pox on it! My dear little Louison!
Come, Papa, I'm not dead yet.
Oh, well. I forgive you just this once, but in future you must tell me everything.
Of course, Papa. But don't tell Angelique I told you.
No, of course not.
Papa, a young man came into Sister's room while I was there.
Well?
He said that he was her music teacher, but...
I see. Well, what else?
Oh, Angelique came and she said, "Good heavens, go away, just go, you'll drive me to despair."
Well?
But he wouldn't go.
What did he say to her?
Ah, ever so many things. He told her this and that and the other thing. Oh, and that he loved her, and that she was the most beautiful person in the world.
And then?
He knelt down before her and kept kissing her hands.
And then?
Ah, Mama came and he escaped.
Nothing else?
No, Papa.
Quite sure? My little finger says something, though.
No, Papa.
Stay. My little finger says there's something you saw which you're not telling me.
Papa, your little finger's a storyteller.
Take care.
Don't listen to him, he tells a story, I assure you.
Oh, well, run along now. And pay great attention to what you see.
Yes, Papa.
Ah, me. Children are no longer children nowadays. What trouble. I've not even enough leisure to attend to my own illness. I'm quite done in.
Now, brother, what's the matter? How are you?
Brother. I'm ill. Very ill. No one would believe how feeble I am.
That's too bad.
I've hardly enough strength to speak.
I was wanting to talk to you about Angelique's marriage.
Don't talk to me about that wicked, brazen-faced, insolent girl! I'll put her in a convent before 2 days are over. And the other one too, if she's not careful.
Well, it's good to see you have a little strength still left, and that my visit is doing you good. Well, but leave all that till later. I've brought you an entertainment to dissipate your melancholy. I'm sure it will be as good as a prescription from Dr. Pergon. Well, brother, what do you say to that? As good as a dose of sinner, eh? Now, shall we have a little chat? And let me ask you, brother, to refrain from getting excited in that conversation.
Agreed.
And not to respond angrily to anything I say.
Of course.
To be calm and objective.
Lord, yes. What a preamble.
How is it, brother, that with all your wealth, you speak of sending your daughters to a convent?
I am master of the family and can do what I like.
I'm sure your wife will be charmed to see that both become good nuns.
Oh, I see. Blame my poor wife again. Why is it everybody is so against her?
Oh, I'm sure she has nothing but the best intentions for you and your family. She expresses an extraordinary tenderness towards you and shows your children an inconceivable goodness. No, let's not speak of her, but only of your daughter. Why on earth do you want to give her in marriage to some unheard of doctor?
Because I want a son-in-law who will suit my needs.
But it's not what your daughter wants. And from what I hear, there may be someone more suitable.
That's as may be, but this one just happens to be more suitable for me.
By the same argument, if Louison were old enough, you'd give her to a pharmacist.
I hadn't thought of that. What an excellent idea!
You are simply infatuated with doctors and determined to be ill.
What on earth do you mean by that?
I mean, I cannot think of anybody who is less sick than you. I would be quite satisfied with a constitution like yours. The greatest proof that you are well is that you haven't died from all the medicines you swallowed.
It's precisely these medicines which keep me in good health. Dr. Pergon says that I would be dead within 3 days if he's not taking care of me.
Between you and me, there is nothing more ridiculous than a man who takes it upon himself to cure another man.
Does that mean that you don't believe in medicine, a thing acknowledged by everybody and revered throughout the ages?
No, brother, and I do not see it is necessary to believe it.
So, according to you, doctors know nothing at all?
Oh, they have some knowledge of the best classics, can talk fine Latin, can give a Greek name to each and every disease, can define and distinguish them. But, as to curing those diseases, that's another question entirely.
Still, you must agree to this. Doctors know more than others.
They know, brother, what I have told you, and that does not affect many cures. They give you words instead of reasons, promises instead of results. I'm sure your Dr. Pergon has no wish to deceive. He's a thorough doctor from head to foot, a man who believes in rules and thinks it a crime to question them. He orders medicines left and right and hesitates at nothing. There's no point in bearing him ill will for the harm he does. It's with the best intentions in the world that he'll send you to the next world. And his wife, children, and himself, if need be.
All this because you have a grudge against him? But let's come to the point. What is to be done when one is ill?
Nothing, brother.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Only rest. Nature, when we leave her free, will gently recover from the disorder into which she has fallen. It's our anxiety, our impatience, which does the damage. Let's face it, most people die of their remedies, not their diseases.
So you think that all the knowledge in the world is contained in your brain and that doctors know more than you know in yours?
When you weigh words and actions, your great doctors are two different kinds of people. Listen to their talk, they are the cleverest people in the world. See them at work, they are the most ignorant. But I have talked enough, and to change the subject, there is no reason why you should put your daughter in a convent because she doesn't like your choice of husband. We should all do your daughter's inclinations, since the whole happiness of her married life depends upon it.
Excuse me, brother, I need to prepare for my afternoon injection.
Ear injection?
Come.
Come along.
No, I'm quite tired of all this.
What do you mean? Dr. Pergon has prepared this distillation especially. Your bottle, please.
Had enough. It's off another time, please. Just go away.
How dare you oppose the doctor's prescription? What's got into you?
Absolutely nothing. I've merely decided not to take a prescription prescribed by the great Dr. Pergon.
Such boldness, I can scarcely believe my ears. I'll be revenged on your opponents, and when you next fall ill, I'll say die, die like a dog. We'll teach you to mock doctors.
It's easy to see you're not used to speaking to living human beings.
You have wasted my precious time. I came in with a perfectly good prescription, and I'll go tell Dr. Pergon that I've been prevented from executing his orders, not unable to perform my duty. You will see, you will see.
Brother, has something untoward happened here? Mr. Floron was looking rather angry.
Take no notice of him. He was just sulky about Dr. Pergon's wasted injection. Are you sure you can't be cured of this doctor disease?
Ah, brother, you speak as a man who is quite well. If you were in my place, we'd soon see if you'd go on as you do. It's easy to speak against medicine when one is in perfect health.
But exactly what disease do you suffer from?
What disease? Truly, you will drive me to desperation. I'd like you to have my disease, and then we'd see if you'd go on as you do. Ooh, here is Dr. Hogan.
I've just heard the news downstairs. You laugh at my prescription and refuse to take the remedy I have ordered. Such audacity, a patient rebelling against his doctor. So unnatural.
It's frightening.
It was an injection I had the pleasure of composing myself.
It was he.
Invented and concocted according to the rules of science.
He was wrong not to take
It
it.
must have marvelous effect on your intestines.
Actually,
Such conduct is monstrous. It's treason against the faculty and one which cannot be too severely punished.
Right.
I have no choice but to break off all arrangements and treatments with you.
But it was my brother whose son was missing.
To end all associations with you, here's the money I was to give my nephew Thomas as a marriage settlement with your daughter.
But my brother was the cause of all the trouble.
And I would have cured you in a very short time.
He doesn't deserve it.
I was about to cleanse your body and clear it of all its bad humours.
Clearly he's unworthy of your care.
But since you wouldn't be cured by me and have forsaken the obedience owed to your doctor,
Serves you right, I say.
I must tell you that I abandon you to your own bad constitution, to the intemperance of your bowels, to the corruption of your blood, and the bitterness of your bowels.
Alas!
Within 4 days you shall fall into an incurable state.
Ah, mercy on me!
You shall fall from bradypepsia into dyspepsia, into apepsia, and then into leantry.
Dr. Pickle!
And from leantry into dysentery, into dropsy, and then autopsy, to which your own foolishness will have brought upon you.
The doctor! Oh my God, I'm dead! I'm done for!
Why? What's the matter?
You heard him! 4 days he's given me!
Anyone would think that Dr. Pergon holds your life in his hands and that he has supreme authority to prolong it or cut it short, just as he fancied. Remember that all the wrath of Dr. Pergon can do as little towards making you die as his remedies can make you live. This is an opportunity, if you will, to get rid of your doctors altogether.
No, certainly not. Dr. Pergon is the best doctor in town, and he knows everything about my constitution. Where on earth could I get another doctor to treat me so effectively?
Sir, there is a doctor here who desires to see you.
A doctor?
Of medicine.
Who is he?
I don't know who he is, but he and I look as alike as two peas. And if I wasn't sure that my mother was an honest woman, I'd say he was a younger brother to me.
One doctor leaves, another comes. You are fortunate.
Perhaps he can cure me of all the diseases I've never heard of before.
Oh, your heart on that subject.
But there are so many diseases that I don't understand.
Allow me to pay my respects, offer you my services.
Much obliged, sir.
Excuse me while I prepare my instruments. And what is that saucy maid of yours?
The speaking image of Toinette.
The resemblance is remarkable, but life is full of such freaks of nature.
For my part, I'm astonished and
Is
amazed.
there something that you wanted, sir? Oh, get away from me, you filthy doctor!
How amazing. What a coincidence.
Oh my God. Did you call for me, sir?
What?
Did you call for me?
No.
My ears must have tingled then.
Just stop here a moment and see how much that doctor resembles you.
Oh yes, that's right, because I've got plenty of time to waste. Besides, I've seen enough of him already.
If I hadn't seen them in the same room together, I'd believe they were one and the same person. It's quite wonderful.
Sir, I hope you'll forgive the curiosity I feel. Such an illustrious patient. Your reputation as an invalid is worldwide.
Not at all.
But sir, I see that you are staring at me. How old do you think I am?
26 or 27?
I am in fact 90 years old.
90 years old?
That's right. That's one of the secrets of my art, to keep myself looking young and vigorous.
How incredible! A fine youthful old fellow of 90.
I'm an itinerant doctor, and
Invalid in medicine. I am not at all interested in the rubbish of the common disease, with the trifles of rheumatism, coughs, fevers, vapours, and headaches. I require diseases of importance, such as non-intermittent fevers with delirium, raging scarlet fevers, ghastly plagues, confirmed dropsies, and life-threatening pleuroses with inflammation of the lungs. This is what I like. This is what I triumph in, and I wish, sir, that you had all these diseases combined, that you had been given up, despaired on by all doctors and at the point of death, so that I might have the pleasure of showing you the profound nature of my abilities.
I'm much obliged, sir. I can only wish for all of these
Let me
diseases.
feel your pulse. Come, beat properly. This pulse is trifling with me. It does not know me yet. Who's your doctor?
Dr. Pergon.
Never heard of him. What's his diagnosis?
He says it's the liver. Others say the spleen.
They are a pack of ignorant blockheads. You're suffering from the lungs.
The lungs?
Yes, how do you feel?
From time to time, great pains of the head.
The lungs.
Sometimes it's as if I had a mist over my eyes.
The lungs.
I feel sick now and then.
The lungs.
I have a great weariness in all my
The
bones.
lungs. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Sometimes I have sharp pains in the stomach as if I had a colic.
The lungs. And you have a healthy appetite?
I do.
The lungs. And you like red wine?
I do enjoy a little tipple.
The lungs. And do you feel sleepy after mealtimes and enjoy a nap?
Yes, indeed I do.
The lungs, I tell you, your doctor is an ass. I can't examine you from time to time during my stay in this town.
That's very kind of you, sir.
What the deuce do you want with this arm?
My arm?
I'd have it cut off on the spot if I were you.
Sorry.
Don't you see that it draws all the nourishments to itself, preventing this side from growing properly?
That's as may be, but I have...
This right eye of yours, I'd have it plucked out on the spot if I were you.
Why right I plucked out?
Don't you see that it interferes with the proper function of the other? Believe me, have it plucked out as soon as possible.
Surely we don't have to rush
Now
into...
goodbye. I must attend a conference about a man that died yesterday.
He died?
Yes, and we must consider what should have been done to cure him. Goodbye.
Doctor?
The doctor seems to be a very clever man.
That's as may be, but he goes a little too fast for my liking.
All great doctors do that, and you may be onto something.
Cut off my arm and pluck out my eye so that the other may be better. I'd rather they were not better. Nice operation indeed to make one eye and one arm.
Now, brother, since you have quarrelled with Dr. Pergon, let's talk further about this marriage business.
No, I will put her in a convent before 2 days are over. I'm sure there's some love affair at the bottom of this all. She'll be a nun. I've made up my mind.
I know you intend to please somebody else by doing this.
You always come back to that. My wife loves and cherishes me.
I must be frank with you. I can no more bear your infatuation with doctors than your delusions about your wife. You run her headlong into every snare she lays for you.
You mustn't talk like that about the mistress. She is a person beyond reproach, a woman without deceit, who dotes on our master. How she loves him.
Just ask her how much she loves me.
Yes, indeed.
And how worried she is by my sickness.
Without a doubt. I'll tell you what, I'll show you how much she loves him. Let me prove you wrong.
How will you do that?
Your wife has just arrived home. Stretch yourself out on the chair and pretend to be dead. See how she grieves when I tell her the news.
Oh, very well, I consent.
But don't leave her too long in despair. She might die of it.
Oh, you can count on me for that.
Now, go hide yourself.
Is there any danger in pretending to be dead?
No, not at all. What could possibly happen? Just stretch yourself out, so. It'll be good to prove to your brother how wrong he is. But shh, here she comes. Keep still.
Certain. Quite certain. I was alone with him when it happened. He breathed his last breath in my arms and just look at
Hallelujah! Delivered at last. What? miss him. Dirty, disgusting habits. Always wanting an injection or a dose or this or that. Forever coughing, snivelling, spitting. He was a boring, bad-tempered, stupid old man who never stopped scolding people day or night.
Well, that's a fine funeral oration.
Toinette, you must help me carry out my plans, and I promise I'll make it worth your while. There are some papers and money I want to get my hands on before anyone else finds out. It's not right that I have given him the best years of my life without recompense. Come on, Toinette, first of all, get the key.
Now, steady on!
Good heavens!
So, my wife, is this how you love me?
Oh my goodness, the dead man's alive.
I'm very glad to have discovered how much you love me, and what's important to you. I'll be much wiser in the future.
So, brother, now you see.
I never would have believed it. But listen, here comes your daughter. Go back to where you were before, and let's see how she takes the news of your demise. While we're at it, we might as well know the sentiments of all your family towards you.
And so it appears that after all, I belong to a wealthy family. And if your father insists on having a doctor in the family, I am prepared to undertake such study for your sake. So now there is nothing to prevent us from being married.
This is the happiest day of my life.
Oh my God, how terrible! Happy day!
What's the matter, Toinette? Why are you crying?
I have some tragic news for you.
What is it?
Your father is dead.
Dead?
Yes, he had a fainting fit a moment ago and then he...
Oh heavens! Why has this happened? To lose my dear father, who was all the world to me, and what's worse, he was so angry with me. Dear sweet father, if I resist your will, I will at least carry out one of your intentions and join a monastery. Leon, I'm sorry.
Now, come now, I'm not dead yet.
What a delightful relief.
So you're my true flesh and blood and my real family.
Father, since heaven has restored you, let me now throw myself at your feet and beg one favor of you. Please, do not force me to marry a man I cannot love.
Sir, let her prayers and mine move your heart. Do not oppose our mutual love.
Brother, please listen to them.
How can you resist all of this?
Well, let him become a doctor and I'll consent to the marriage. Yes, become a doctor and I'll give you my daughter.
Willingly, though I have no aptitude.
That hardly matters. But brother, why don't you become a doctor yourself? That would be even more convenient.
Quite right. What better way than to cure oneself? And a disease would never be bold enough to attack a doctor himself.
You are laughing at me. Can I study at my age?
Study? What need is there to study? I'm sure you know more about being ill than any doctor. Why? You're an expert.
But one must be able to speak Latin and know all about the different diseases and so on.
When one puts on the cap and gown of a doctor, all that will come of itself.
You mean just dress up?
You'll be amazed at what you know when you are regarded as an authority. Any old stuff becomes wisdom, and rubbish, good sense.
And after all, you're growing the beard for it, and a good beard is half the doctor.
Shall we?
What, now?
Yes, right here.
My house?
Yes, I know a body of physicians, friends of mine, who will come presently and perform the ceremony here in your own room. It will cost you nothing.
But what do I say? The answers?
They'll put your part in writing. Shall I send for them?
Yes, very well. Let it be done.
What is this? Body of physicians?
What do you have in mind?
Just a little something to amuse ourselves tonight. We'll all take part, with my brother to take the leading role.
But aren't you making fun of my father?
He'll forgive us quibbling with his distorted fancies. Besides, now he knows where our hearts truly lie. Come, let's get everything ready.
You consent to everything.
I do.